Greetings, my name is Christian Alexander Richmond, and today I will introduce you to where I'm from, the city of Fairfield, California, my hometown at the edge of the bay. Starting with its history, it was founded in 1856 by the gentleman Robert Waterman. He named it after his hometown in Connecticut, Fairfield. That means there is more than one Fairfield in the United States, so which is Fairfield, California? The upper left or bottom right? If we examine the bottom right, the architectural style is very reminiscent of something common in the East Coast, an older American style. Furthermore, the terrain is something different than what we would expect to find in the West Coast, which is where Fairfield, California is located. That means it must be the upper left here. This is downtown Fairfield, a place I have walked, cycled, and driven many a time through. Furthermore, I have performed in this area at the various events that are located here, and I will tell you later. I have even served as a criminal justice law intern in this same area. So, as with many fine cities begin, Fairfield's start was a humble one, underdeveloped, rural, and full of the flowing grassy yellow hills that a person can still see in full effect to this day. That was until 1942, according to the editors of Encyclopedia Britannica. Fairfield's development was spurred during World War II, when the U.S. Air Force established Travis Air Force Base east of the city. Now, while we can still see many of the beautiful yellow sloping hills in Fairfield, development boomed from every decade thereafter. If we look at an overview of the city, it looks like there is a great expanse of buildings and developed areas. So how big exactly is Fairfield, California today? The size is 107.2 kilometers squared, with a population of over 100,000 people. So if we compare this to where your high school is located, Fairfield, California is almost 6 times larger than Oizumi. Picture that. Now with the city this size, there might be a lot of things to do. So looking at Fairfield, California's main website, which is completely overhauled compared to the lifeless, dead site that it was 10 years ago, seems like it's very inviting, very welcoming. So let's look at some of the pointers here. Beat the heat in Fairfield. This will give you an idea that sometimes Fairfield, California might be very warm, and it is really scorching hot from time to time during the summer. So there's a water park available for people to enjoy. There are also other places to enjoy nice air conditioning. In the midsection, Fairfield is open for business. So there's this mantra, the spirit that businesses are welcome in Fairfield. So we have great businesses from all walks of life, starting with the Budweiser Brewery Factory, where a person can enjoy tours, beers, and jobs, and see all that you see right here, even going inside. Budweiser might be a familiar brand to you, or maybe it is not, but check your local convenience store, check a local bar, check a restaurant. Chances are Budweiser beer might be available for your picking, if you are 20 years or older, that is, in Japan. Now, aside from Budweiser, we have the world-famous Jelly Belly factory in Fairfield, California. Now, similar to the Budweiser factory, a person could enjoy a tour, buying some of the delicious jelly beans here that are typically fruity, and even enjoy some employment as well. These two factories are great for the local economy and provide wonderful jobs. But aside from the jobs, what about more fun? Well, some of the fun would be at Scandia, where the family can enjoy, starting with driving the go-karts. And it is safe if there's any kind of collision. It's a really, really fun time. You could drive, a kid could drive at a certain age. I highly recommend if you ever find yourself in my hometown. There's also arcades and games of over 200, from older to newer games. There is a wonderful kingdom-style golf course for kids and adults. And if a person were to look into the distance of the black night sky, the batting cages are visible to do. And there is so much more to enjoy, like a playpen for kids. Even some water activities are available as well. So it's a really good time. But what if you wanted to watch something? It wouldn't be a great city without its own massive cinema. And here we have Edwards Cinema. Beautiful interior, a grand exterior. It's a sight to see. And you can enjoy many of the top hit movies to this day. But what if you wanted to go outside? Rockville Park is full of gorgeous scenery, wondrous places to explore, and fantastic hills and rocks to traverse. It is teeming with natural life in its natural habitat. You could see wild cows, you could see wild reptiles, birds of all kinds. Different styles, different colors, different sizes. It is a sight to see. But beware, there are some predators in their natural habitats as well. Look out for the mountain lions that might pounce on you. Look out for the rattlesnakes that might shh and then strike you when you least expect it. For example, when I was younger, my family and I were hiking up Rockville Park and going through the grassy areas at the top. Through the thick yellow long grass and some brown and gray stones, I could somewhat pick out that there's a rattlesnake just sitting there with its rattle up, moving a little bit. Not noticeable to hear, but I could see, and then I protected my family from what could have been a very unfortunate meeting with that rattlesnake. But it is so beautiful, I highly recommend going. Now, of course, after all that entertainment, what about food? Fairfield is full of an international cuisine of restaurants, from American, Mexican, Asian, Japanese, Italian, all different kinds. If you're hungry for it, you could probably find it here. Now, some of the major staples of Fairfield that I will go over are two in particular. First, we have In-N-Out Burger, where the fries are cut and made fresh every day with a scrumptious selection of burgers and something very appetizing to see. Here we have the monster fries with In-N-Out Burger's special sauce dripped on top. It is a very popular item, and people of all different types come to enjoy the food with a relatively quick delivery time. We have Joe's Buffet, a local favorite and a personal favorite of mine. Here, you could definitely enjoy my number one pick for it, the roast beef sandwich with its famous dipping sauce. It is good. Seriously, try it. It is very delicious. Dip that in the sauce, my lord. But after eating, what about a time to see the edge of the bay? Well, that is at the marina. Now, if you want to look at the water or some of the boats, or maybe even ride on some of the boats, that's possible here. But during the 4th of July, it is a spectacle because the fireworks go off in this area. Now, speaking of the 4th of July, in the downtown area of Fairfield, there are many events, many parades. For example, here's a parade I performed in playing taiko. Taiko is just one of many other kind of performances a person can see. And there's a contest as well. It is a great time for the different holidays where parades are featured here. Now, what about some famous figures who have been to Fairfield in recent times? Well, a very, very, very famous one is former President George W. Bush. He visited Travis Air Force Base in October of 2001. Then we had a presidential candidate who was a favorite of the Democrat Party, Bernie Sanders. He came to our college, Solano Community College, for the 2016 election. And then we have an Olympic gold medalist who went to the same high school I went to, Fairfield High School. Well, aside from that, we have a world-famous artist, musician, Sage the Gemini. He is known for songs like Gas Pedal. And then other songs like Going Down for Real and Cha Cha Cha, which has almost 3 billion views. These are all great songs for you to hear. I highly recommend checking them out. But what about our culture? Here's a quick tidbit about our culture. So, Bay Area, right? It's about the water from San Francisco to Fairfield. Well, in Fairfield, we are very proud of our city and where we come from. And our area code is 707. In the 707, we call the Bay Area the Yay area. And we have some notable cultural figures that are responsible for some of the words that we say that is very different from the rest of America. We have people like E40, Mac Dre, and Too Short. These people are responsible for a lot of the diction, a lot of the lingo, a lot of the slang that many of us use today. Just like here, Bay Area popular slangs by Kwan4 News. You have NHK News in Japan. We have Kwan4 among other agencies. Here's a list of the popular slangs.
Hella is probably the most famous. Right, yeah, like this studio, it's hella hot. Yeah, hella. We're always running fans and trying to... Yeah.
So, like you heard the news anchor say, hella. Now, hella is a bit of a derogatory term. It's something that is very slang, so be careful when using it. It's similar to hell. But when we say hella, like it's hella hot, we're saying it's very hot. It's really hot. We have ye, means yes. Slaps, like, oh, that song slaps. Meaning that song sounds really good. That's really good. Oh, this food slaps. This food is really good. Trana means trying to. Finna means going to. The city can mean Sacramento City, the capital, or San Francisco City. The town can also mean Sacramento or Oakland. Now we got juice, meaning like I'm pumped, have a lot of energy. Out of pocket, meaning acting ridiculous, like he's out of pocket, man. That was out of pocket. That was ridiculous. Okay, that was unnecessary. Then we have giggin. Giggin means like dancing. That's some of the slang. Now, you are equipped to visit my city, understand what people say to you. Thank you for listening to my presentation, my introduction about my hometown. Please stop by and experience the edge of the bay, my hometown, the Yay area, 707. Have a great day. Be safe.